You know what's absolutely wild? Most people wait until they have absolutely everything figured out before they start. But here I am, building a fashion brand from scratch while still working my 9 to 6. No design degree, no fashion background. Just a dream that won't leave me alone. And in this video, I'm taking you behind the scenes of what this actually looks like. Spoiler alert, it's very messy, but also really exciting. I know that this is the start of something much bigger than me, and I want you to see it all, because I don't just want to launch a fashion brand, but I want to chase my dreams, live a life that I find fulfilling, and create art that brings people together. Chapter 1: The Dream versus Reality. Let's just start with the obvious. Starting anything while working a full-time job is like trying to fly a plane while it's still being built. I get home most days with my brain literally just feels like mashed potatoes. Not only am I a normal person that has other responsibilities and priorities like making time for my loved ones, my love life, my family, my friends, but also ensuring that I take good care of myself and ensuring that I get enough sleep, because your girl needs minimum 8 hours of sleep every day. I now also had to carve out time to work on my dream, on this goal, and to also create content. You know, I feel like at this point, most people will start to ease up and realize that, okay, I need to take a step back because I am not a superwoman who can do everything. But for some reason, I just can't let this idea go. This dream of building a brand that feels like a whole universe, a story or a mood that you can wear. Not just another clothing line. I want to make pieces that you are connected to and that you know are crafted to last. You know how you only wear your very specific, special, favorite perfume for a specific special occasion or evening, and how every time when you smell the scent, you are literally being transported back to that very special night. That's how special I want my brand to be, that it will be reminiscent of the most beautiful moments of your life. Because the perfume idea is great, I do it too, but the issue is you spent $200 on a small bottle of perfume, but in just a few months it runs out and you would have to repurchase it. But for my vision, if you spend $200 on this dress, you will be so well assured that this dress is made with the finest fabrics and materials, crafted to perfection, that it will literally outlive you. It's not going to be disfigured or torn or melted. I've heard some terrible horror stories of clothes melting when they are ironed. Just so well made that it can even be passed down for generations. Can you just imagine your mom passing down her old vintage pieces to you and how excited you were? That is the experience that I want to give you. Where maybe once you've outgrown the pieces, or once they no longer fit you, or if you're just a really cool mom, letting your stories and memories live on, just like so much of the art we see around us. Because let's be real, it's not just clothing, it doesn't stop there. I'm putting so much thought and effort and love and craftsmanship into these designs. And I don't just want one person to see it. I want them to represent you, your stories, your memories. And when they're passed down, your memories get to live on. Because no one should spend $200 on a dress that just disintegrates after its first wash. No, not on my watch. Definitely not what my brand stands for. Chapter 2: Why I'm doing this, even though it makes no sense. So why now? Why not wait until I've had more money, more savings, or quit my job and just figure out a better plan? Honestly, because I've already spent so much of my life waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect confidence level. And then I realized waiting is a trap. If I keep waiting, one day I'm going to look back and realize that I never even tried. I've been thinking about this brand for years, but I always talked myself out of it. Who do I think I am? What if it fails? What if no one cares? But lately, I've learned to ask a better question. What if it works? Chapter 3: What this actually looks like while working a 9 to 6. So let's talk logistics, because this is not glamorous. This is waking up early to edit or write out mood boards. This is about editing videos at 11 PM and crying over my laptop. So right now, I'm in the research and sketching phase. I've been learning more about fabrics, manufacturers, and minimum order quantities. Basically, Googling things like, How do I start a fashion brand without knowing how to sew? I have a folder in my iPad for tracking all my ideas, processes, and everything in between. Designing ideas, brand vibe, packaging inspirations, marketing ideas. It's like a Pinterest board meeting my overactive brain. And I also have the goal of building my own personal brand while building this fashion brand, because it just has been a huge goal of mine. And that part's really hard because it means doing the work and showing up when I don't feel ready at all. Heck, before I even have anything to show for it. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, then you would know that this is one of my biggest challenges because I am a huge introvert, and I know especially in this day and age, content is just so abundant, and a lot of people are able to just pick up their phone and turn on the camera and start yapping. But honestly, some days I feel like I don't even have anything to say. So yes, this is definitely a huge hurdle and obstacle, and I'm trying to get used to it, still in the process of getting better, but hopefully one day it becomes more natural for me. And that's why I want to bring you along this whole journey. Not just the highlight reel, but everything in between. The figuring it all out, the breakdowns, everything I do wrong, everything that matters. Chapter 4. The systems I'm building to make this work. Okay, so here's what's keeping me sane right now. 1. Weekly time blocks. I've carved out time to work on my brand like it's a second job because I'm treating it like such. The tricky part is that some weeks are much busier than others, and my schedule can vary quite a lot too. So instead of sticking to a tight schedule like 5 hours a week, I'm gonna work on my brand, I try to slip in work whenever I need a break from my 9 to 6. I also will have a to-do list of all the things that I want to work on and research on. One thing that I've learned from my digital art background that I'm seeing a lot of similarities in, especially now that I've started this new artistic project, is that sometimes with art or artistic projects, working with deadlines can actually be pretty counterproductive. And what I mean is that, for example, you give yourself 3 hours to come up with a new dress design, let's say. But that would sometimes mean that you're rushing through the process and the details, and you end up overlooking on the quality and the ideation. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you just keep the customer always waiting and that deadlines shouldn't exist in this industry. But I think that when you're in the ideation phase, and especially when you're just starting, don't beat yourself up when you realize that you can't come up with ideas as fast as you thought you would, or within the time that you have given yourself. Which is why I'm still trying to get used to this system, because I'm just so used to having a deadline and making sure that the deadline is met. I'm trying to be more flexible with the hours that I'm putting in for this project, and trying not to be too frustrated when I realize that I spent way too long on one task, because after all, quality is the most important factor for me. 2. A dream life dashboard. I track my goals in different categories like my brand progress, personal growth, and content posted. I guess just like a regular daily tracker, but one that's kind of focused on just my goals. 3 is monthly goals and tiny wins. So instead of saying like, I'm gonna launch in 6 months, instead I say, this month I'm gonna do this, 1, 2, 3. And then next month I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3. It helps me feel like I'm making progress, helps me build momentum, which is key when you're trying to juggle so much. And 4, letting it be messy. Honestly, half the time I feel like I'm behind, but I've just made peace with the fact that honestly I think it's going to be slow and sometimes ugly, and that's okay. Slow progress is still progress. Chapter 5. What I'm learning so far. Here are a few things that I've learned just from trying to start. 1. You will want to quit before you even start. The amount of times that I've spiraled into thinking I'm not qualified is wild. But your first draft doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to exist, and you can make it good later. 2. Your taste is your superpower. Even if you don't know how to design clothes, you know what you love. Use that. I often find myself comparing to other bigger, more well-known and more established brands and thinking, well, what I want to design is nothing like what they have, so that probably means that no one is going to like it. But I always try and remind myself that I am not the only one who struggles with finding a dress or a piece of clothing that they feel so attached to. A piece that is so beautiful, high quality, timeless and elegant, that at the same time makes you feel confident and beautiful. I had to remind myself that I'm not trying to be like other brands. I know that what I'm going to bring to the table is what I'm going to make work. And 3 is to start messy. Clarity comes from action. I didn't really know what kind of brand I wanted until I started mood boarding and sketching and word vomiting. Some days I feel like I'm onto something, other days I feel like the most confused intern. But both days are still part of the process. Chapter 6. What keeps me going? Some days I doubt myself. Like, who am I to do this? Am I really that special? Is what I can bring to the table really something that people will want, something that people will connect with, something that people will find beautiful? But when I think of the version of me that never tried, that kind of breaks my heart. Because everyone deserves to try. There's no fault and wrong in trying. You owe that to yourself. It's your life, your dreams. And this version of me, the one that's trying to try, sure, I might be tired, but I'm starting to love life more, starting to find waking up slightly easier, and now I have something to look forward to, even if it's stressful, even if it's scary. But I know that I wouldn't trade this for the world, because I'm trying to build something that is totally 100% mine. This isn't just about clothes, it's about building something beautiful, something that makes people feel seen, and something that helps them feel confident. And it's about proving to myself that I can do hard things, that I am meant for this life. I know I am. I'm going to do it scared, I'm going to do it tired, and I'm going to do it alone, because I owe it to myself to try. So here's what's next for me. And actually, I've already learned a lot from this past 1-2 months of just trying to start. So if you guys have any questions about trying to start a fashion brand or a business, feel free to leave the questions down below, and maybe I can do a video answering all your questions about the processes of starting a brand, a business, or maybe just trying to launch a product. I would love to do a video and do a deep dive on this topic and answer all your questions and help you guys out. So back to my to-do list. I need to finalize my brand vibe, I guess. The colors, the tone, the message, because right now I have it in my head, but getting it on paper is another story. It's another battle. So that's first. Next is to start researching manufacturers and factories. I need to sketch more ideas. I already have some that I would like to work on, but as I said, quality and details are everything to me. So I have a feeling that this might take the most amount of time, because I am not going to start working on something that is not perfect. I am also planning to continue posting weekly updates here and on my TikTok, so to keep myself accountable. And I know that I said that I'm going to provide real-time updates, but filming and editing a YouTube, obviously I can't do it instantly. So frankly, TikTok is honestly the most fastest way of providing a feedback loop, and I guess keeping you guys updated on my progress. So if you guys really want to see the true nitty-gritty details of everything that I'm doing in real time, TikTok is probably the best bet. So if you guys are interested in seeing real-time updates, I'm gonna leave the link to my TikTok in the details below, and you can check it out if you'd like. And finally, I want to build an audience that feels like a community, not just buyers. Because I know there are women out there all over the world who are yearning and craving for pieces that are worth their hard-earned money, that they know they can invest in, because they know it is artfully crafted, well thought out designs, one-of-a-kind details, and just nothing you have ever seen before. Every woman deserves to feel beautiful, to feel like they're literally a piece of art, wearing art. And that's the kind of community I want to create. I'm going to try everything I've learned from other creators, all the resources that are out there, studying other creators, those that came before me, and just throwing myself into the unknown, I guess. There's no shortcut, just a lot of curiosity, a lot of effort, and a lot of showing up. So yeah, I don't have all the answers yet. I'm sharing this now because I don't want to be one of those people who shows up after they've made it. I'm still figuring out what this brand is going to become, and I want you to see every single messy bit of it, the part when nothing's done and everything feels overwhelming. Because that's real, and that's where most of us are. But this is the start, and I'm choosing to show up, even when it's messy, imperfect, and unfinished. Because if there's one thing that I've learned, is that big things happen with small, consistent steps. And if you're someone with a dream that feels bigger than you, or if you're dreaming of building something, even if it's not a fashion brand, even if it's just becoming a more confident version of yourself, this is your sign to start. I hope this video makes you feel less alone. Let this be a reminder that we don't need to be perfect. We just need to begin. Let's do this together. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm betting on myself. And I'd love for you to stick around to see where this goes. If you've ever wanted to chase something bigger, follow along, subscribe, and come back next week for the next part of the journey. Let's figure it out together. Until next time, take care of your heart, your mind, and your dreams. I'll see you in the next video very soon.